In our latest episode, we sit down with Coach Taran Navy, who brings over 11 years of coaching experiences who just led his team to a league championship. Tune in as Coach Navy shares his journey, coaching philosophies, and the strategies behind his recent triumph. Whether you're a soccer enthusiast or aspiring coach, this insightful conversation is not to be missed. Thank you, Coach Taran Navy. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So the first question I got for you is how'd you get into soccer? What's your background in soccer?
Actually, my background in soccer comes from me coaching my daughter's team. I was assistant coach actually for my daughter's team with Austin. I'm sorry, with Round Rock APX. And I didn't really play soccer as a kid. I played American football.
Oh
So
wow,
when
okay.
yeah, so when my wife was telling me we're going to put him in soccer, I'm like, I don't know anything about soccer. Like, I guess I'm going to have to start learning. And so when I went there at first, I started to realize that when it comes to soccer, it's not as much running as I thought it would be. I thought you'd be running up and down the field like big time, like all the time, running, and getting sweaty. But when I started realizing it, my daughter, who was right now she's 13, but at that time she was 6,
Okay.
and the coach was actually a head coach for another soccer team someplace else. And when I told him, I said, why aren't they doing a lot of running? And he said, well, the reason why they're not is because you do that, you're going to tire yourself out. What I'm teaching them is how to pass and how to use their team. And he said, and
Okay.
if everybody has their position, there's no really reason to be running so much, especially at this age. And I went, that's really strange. He said, would you like to be an assistant coach? I said, yeah, I'd love to. So, but I'm the kind of person that gets into it. So I got into
Okay.
it. And then my son got into it and he was 4. And then I started coaching him, coaching his team. And then I went up and then I started coaching my other son's team. So I've been coaching from U4 to U12. So I've been doing all of those and in between with all 3 of my kids.
Oh wow,
And
okay.
that's how I've been getting into it. So if you think about it, I got off of work, I went to coach. I went back home, I got off, went to another coach. Then doing that, got another coaching session. So I was back to back coaching teams between those sizes. So with goalie, without goalie, I just got into it. And that's how I got started. And so within the combined years of between them, it came out to about 11. And we've been working with them. So what I've learned is how to position the teams. But I'm going to tell you my favorite. My favorite is U8. My favorite
Okay.
is the grassroots. And the reason why grassroots is my favorite is because they are gobbling up everything that you can teach them.
Hmm.
And since there is no goalie, which is actually harder than you think, a goalie will return the ball to you. But when they're fighting for the ball and they get grouped up, you ever see that? They get real
Oh
mashed up
yeah.
together
Yep.
and picking the ball. And then you're having to teach them, stop grouping up, learn to spread out.
Hmm.
Learn to spread out and be able to have somebody. You have no idea how long it took me to teach those babies that. You have no idea how long it took me. But that has been my experience. So this was my first championship. And this is the very first time that I coached like completely singularity. I had an assistant coach and I was a head coach. But this is the first time. I
Oh
mean,
wow.
yeah, this was my first time actual coaching it and getting in there, calling the shots, uh, arguing with parents. You're not putting enough time with my kids on the field. Managing that, oh my goodness, oh goodness, it was the most rewarding and most beautiful experience of my life. And I
Okay.
can just tell you right now, any person would love to do that.
Right. So that's an incredible story, right? Because you started with your kids, right? So are you still coaching them? Because I know you say your oldest is 13.
Hmm.
So are you still coaching them?
Yes, I do. I still coach them to this day. And my son Ezra, my youngest, is the one that just finished with his team. I don't know how to do this to pull up a picture. I should say, I think I'll send you some.
Yeah,
And
well,
I don't know if you had them. If you look up Shaolin's Shogun Soccer, you'll see
okay.
the picture of us, and you'll see all of our wins, and you'll see our loss, and you'll see everything in there. So it was but Everett and Ezra are the ones I'm coaching the most. Astrid is going into a different area. This was her last season. She can't play anymore in the she's too old. She's 13. So she wants to go into basketball. So
Okay.
that's gonna be, and I'm like, Man, I don't know nothing about basketball neither. So I know about it. I know how to play it. I know, but like I don't know like the real big rules on how this works. So this is gonna be an interesting part for me too. And
Okay.
most of it, the reason we got into it is to keep our kids in shape.
Hmm.
They were at home too much, and I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was growing up, I did video games. I didn't do
Okay.
sports. I did football from after school, from middle school to high school. But majority of my time, I was with Namco. I was with uh, 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 playing games in arcades, that kind of thing. That was me, man. And it's just, and then I started seeing my son doing the same thing, but I started looking at it like, this is not healthy. I got to get him out of here. And then my wife was like, yeah, we got to do something. This is not going to be a good thing for me. No, it's not. Let's get him busy. So that's how we got into it.
Oh wow. Okay. So I can relate because I used to play video games as well when I was growing up. I didn't actually start
Mm-hmm.
like playing till I was like 15, 16 years old. So I used to play video games. I was into video games a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What games did you play?
I used to do uh on the Nintendo PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I remember when PlayStation was. Yeah.
I used to do like Mortal
But
Kombat. I don't know if you ever did Mortal Kombat or
I was not a Mortal Kombat person. My friends were.
okay.
My actual small individual tournaments were actually with Tekken and Street Fighter. Street Fighter not as much, but Tekken was basically the one that I played.
Oh,
So
okay.
and they have a Tekken soccer, so go for there and see that's a lot of fun too.
So let me ask you a question. Who's been the most influential person in your coaching journey?
Coach Portis, my football coach.
Wow,
His
really?
name is yeah, my football coach from Beverly Hills Intermediate. I told him that I texted him one day and I showed him my picture. I said, I'm finally becoming a coach. And he said, what's that? Boy, I ain't never taught you about no soccer. I said, you about football. What is coaching? I said, well, they don't really have a football like that. Everything here is flag. He said, yeah, yeah. It's a grassroots flag. They don't have really, they have some here. So there's a leagues here that do tackle football, but they're hard to find. And I said, Coach, it's just a community thing. I said, I'm not really. He said, no. He said, it's still you're gonna be a coach, right? I said, yeah. Okay. Well, what's my first rule? Um, you have got the first rule. I had to get the first rule. It's been a long time. This is in middle school, man. This is all from sixth grade to eighth grade. It said, and then Coach Fry, he said, well, Coach Fry taught under me, so you should know the first rule. What is it that you got to do with these kids to get them to be the best? All I remember is you had us doing a lot of running. We did a lot of running. We did bear crawls. We did, you name it. We did horses. We did jumping up on bars, jumping over hoops. We did a lot before we even got to the specifics of our position. We ran a lot. Right. Your conditioning has to be perfect. You cannot go into this without your conditioning being right. So you got to make them tired to where they only listen to you. I was like, oh man, I don't wear these kids out, man. I don't want to hurt them. You're not going to hurt them. He said, I will send you the information. You know what exercises you need to do to make them come up out of this. I'll send it to you. So he sent it to me. Old stuff too from when we were kids. Old stuff.
Right.
And that's like, I don't remember. Oh my God. Yeah, I remember. Oh my goodness. I hated those things. And so, and so he said, teach them this, get their hearts pumping, make sure their lungs get large enough to where they can run and they won't get tired. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And that's how I started. And a lot of people were against it. A lot of parents were against it. Not this team, not my team, not the Shoguns, but my daughter's team, my son's team. They were against them being physically fit and aware to get dimmed up and down the field without getting worn out.
Okay.
But this is what I'm gonna tell you. The first there's only 8 weeks in our season. There's only eight
Mhm.
weeks.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
2 weeks, 2 weeks is enough to get them in shape.
Okay.
If you train them 3 days a week, it's more than enough to get them running because a lot of the stuff, you remember, they're kids. They got the energy anyway. So
Hmm.
you're expounding on what they already have. A lot of them have ADHD and different kinds of stuff, so they got the energy to do it. But if you focus on putting them where I'm serious, if you focus on putting them where they need to go, these kids are phenomenal when it comes to energy. I want that energy. God, dog, give it to me. And I made them do those exercises. I had them do
Okay.
forcing. I had them do sprints. I had them do light running. I had them doing up and down the field, dribbling the ball back and forth, dribbling the ball back and forth, passing to each other. That takes a lot. Look at chart. What my assistant coach, which is his name is Albert, he hit me up on something. If you putting this out there, Albert, I'm talking to you. I got this from you. He said, two touch, look up. Two touch, look up. Two touch, look up. That's what he would do. And so when he would tap the ball, they look up. Tap the ball, look up. And so I started gaining experience about how to put your foot and touching your toe down towards the ground. And you're pushing the ball, not kicking it. You're pushing it. And
Okay.
that takes a lot of exercise from that. So I told them, and that's how our coach taught us. You sleep with this ball. You sleep with that ball. That ball stays with you at all times. And I said, and he also would teach us, if you see your friend out in public and you're running around and your friend is playing a game, you better stop what you're doing to help your friend. If he's your teammate and you are on the same team, you need to stop. Boom, I gotta go. My boy's in trouble. You run to your teammate, you go be with him. That's how we were taught. So that's how I taught them. First thing is conditioning. Get their hearts pumping and get them strong. No matter what happens, even if you're losing, the other team is exhausted. I can't keep up with them. Oh my God, he's too fast. And you're like, hey, yeah, I know. Those are my boys. Look at them. And that's what makes me proud.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense because you still got to run. And conditions is a big part
Mm-hmm.
of soccer, of course.
Mm-hmm.
um. So are you like recreational or are you like competitive?
We are recreational, but we're also very competitive. So just to
Okay.
say this, you're still going to have your medals. You're still going to have your ceremony. I had a ceremony for them. They had their medals, and we had to give it to them on their necks. I have pictures of that too. So we took a family picture of all of us. We're all
Okay.
in, and I'm not the convert. It's not just me and my boys. The entire family was a part of this. We all made this happen. It wasn't just me. I wasn't just I'm maybe the head coach, but after every quarter, I have a rule. I tell them we meet together to talk about the game, but when they're this age and they're young, I give them to their families. I say, go to your families, go to your mom. You guys just scored, man. Go to your families, get that energy, get that love. So if you ever seen it, they run to their family and they hug them really tight, like they're so proud of them. They just hug them so tight, they kiss them and everything. How do you think that makes them feel at that age? I mean,
Uh,
instead of coming back and just, not just sweating and we're talking about the next play, but when they run to their families for just a few minutes, just a few couple of seconds to get that love and that is energy that they get from their parents of how proud they are. And they run
okay.
back to the field and they ready. They hyped up. Let's do this again. So they get in there in that field, man, and then they start. I tell them they know my routine. When I say I want a diamond, give me a diamond, and I tell just to give you some names on my team. These are some awesome names. I have Aiden. I call him my Flash. He was one of my speedsters. He
Okay.
was actually I don't know if you read comic books.
Do I do
So
what?
you read comic books.
No, 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 I don't.
Okay, so with the Flash, I call him Flash. He is my
Okay.
Barry Allen. He is the Flash. Then I have
Okay.
Carl. Carl is my Apollo. He's also my earboard thumb. He is my reverse Flash. Both of these two are my midfielders, and they are the fastest on the team. Then I have these three right here. These are the wrecking crew. This is the wrecking crew. His name is Achute, and then there's Shri, and then there's my son Ezra. They were my defense. They would play the actual rear defense. So when the ball comes back, they kick that ball back. But they were also my blockers. So in football, you can set picks. Oh, in basketball, you can set picks. So let's just say you got a person here, other person from the other team can't stop the person from the ball, and that we charge as a foul. But you can get into the way of the person that's trying to block him. So what I did was we worked on this for like 3 days straight. Shree, Achute, and Ezra. I've taught them how to get in front of the person trying to take the ball to clear a path for their actual midfielder to run forward and score. This is
Okay.
at U8. I was able to teach them this.
Wow.
Ezra is the first one to pick it up. Ezra ran toward he just one of the plays on our second actual game. Aiden had the ball. Aiden is a very good ball handler. Aiden scored in one game 8 points
Oh
by
wow.
himself, and he had the stomach flu. And he had the stomach flu. I'm sitting at that, and I don't know if it was because his grandfather was there and his dad was there. I don't know what it was, but my man was working Jordan that day. That boy was working hard that day, and so they kept trying to crowd him and try to get him to break his actual rhythm of moving. So we had to teach him how, hey, listen, when you're in that group, you got to learn to get rid of that ball, man. You can't just sit there and let him ground you like that and keep pouncing on you. You got to get rid of that ball. Get it out of here. So Aiden, he's bullheaded. He's not going to do it. So I said, okay, we're going to have to change it. You're going to need a blocker. So I was teaching Ezra and a shoot and string. Don't try to tackle them. Just get in front of them. So that way they can't move it. And Aiden, you got to look eyes up to get between your actual route. There's your route between them two people. Get through it. And so it took us a while. We practiced on that play and practiced on that play. They finally got it. So the first play of the game, Aiden got the ball. He pitched it back to one of my most balanced children, which is his name is Dan. Dan is he's actually Vietnamese. The boy's got legs like tree trunks. He would kick that ball. He would kick that ball, and a U8 is only 25 by 35, right? 25 by
Right. Right.
35, right? Okay. He would kick that ball from all the way to the end into the goal. He
Wow.
did that twice. He, he kicked it from the start, right inside. If I have videos of him. He is 1v4, 1v4, and he is moving towards them boys with the ball. Ran over one of them. The other two tried to grab him and stop the ball. He pushed them off like what's his name? Earl Campbell. Like Earl Campbell just get off me. He just kept going and then kicks the ball into the goal at the last second. I'm sitting there like, I got a freaking amazing team here. These boys are powerful. But back to Aiden. Aiden picked it back. Dan took it. Dan was moving up. They try to crowd him. Dan pitches it back to Aiden. They run to Aiden and mock him. But Ezra runs in between just one of the actual defenders. Aiden finds a hole to dribble through it, and that's how he scored.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I'm like, I threw my hands up. That's the play. I was jumping up like a fool. Like, that's the play. Play. Wow. And then everybody's looking at us. They're like, what are they celebrating? Like you scored, but like I don't see. Y'all didn't see what I saw. You didn't see what me and my assistant coach saw. We were hugging each other like. And so our first loss though, which was really sad. Our first loss was against one of the best teams. They were called Guardian,
Okay.
and it was a really hard loss because, and that's another thing. I have always coached at a deficit. It's always only been 5 guys. I've never had the full 8 with me. So our first 4 wins were with 4 people. We would have to do 3v1 sometimes, 3v4 sometimes, and we
Okay.
would have to switch out. We weren't, and that's I don't know if people don't say, well, you can forfeit. I'm not forfeiting anything. And I looked at the boys, and y'all want to forfeit? They went, no, I ain't forfeiting nothing. We can take them. And so after that, we start. And then that game, for the first time, I had a whole team. I didn't know what to do. I've only been training with. I really didn't know what to do. And then one of the kids, I love him still to this day. I call him my Skywalker. His name is Luke. He's my Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
He floats across the field, but he had been there because they were out of town. They had been out of the country to another country for about half the season. So
Oh
he showed
wow.
up. He showed up, and I'm sitting there like, what am I supposed to do now? Because the plays and everything that we got together was part of that cohesive team of that only 5. So what am I supposed to do? I didn't know how to pitch them. I put him in anyway. I said, show me what you got. He ended up kicking it in the wrong goal. I was like, no. I was like, oh, this isn't gonna be a good game. And so, but this was the best team, and we were ahead of them, but they were very neck and neck. So
Okay.
this team, the Guardians, were a tough team, but we all it came out 2-1 at the end. So they
Okay.
got two, we got one. But that shows you the resilience of my team. At the end of the coach came up, he said, "You have a strong team. My God, they're strong." He said, "These boys are. I've never seen a bunch of boys go up against mine like this and terrorize them the way they did, make them work so hard the way they did." I said, "I know. That's why I'm proud of. That's why we're called. That's why we're Shoguns. That's what the Shogun model is. I mean, like this is that's our patch,
Yeah, yeah, I
and
seen it
that's
from your Facebook. Yeah, yeah, I seen it.
right. And so that right there, these are the patches of everyone that they beat.
Oh
This is all the
wow.
patches, and on the back of them, if you played Street Fighter, that was our last. That was our last game. My wife, yeah, she does sublimation.
Hmm.
So on our jerseys, we got our patches, and we have at the bottom of the number. You ever play Street Fighter?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, you know who Akuma is?
I don't know by name. I don't.
Okay, he's one of the guys that he does what they call a hell murder, and so basically he goes in and he attacks him. At the end, there's a symbol on his back which is kanji for ten or heaven, or to send to heaven, or to end, and that's on their back. So if you look at our pictures when they're running, it's on their back.
Oh
So and
wow. Okay.
it looks so freaking cool because they're running in the pictures, and everybody's like, "Man, these guys are stumbled up for real. They look powerful." And you give them a sense of something to believe in. That's how I can tell you. You give these kids a sense of something to believe in. The reason why I picked the name Shogun is because Shoguns were a military unit that basically, during feudal Japan and different parts of their existence, the samurai were basically the ones who called the shots. So when you tell them the story of it, you teach them. I taught them words. I taught them Japanese words.
Oh
Like when
wow.
they go
Okay.
out, yeah, I taught them certain words. So when they go out, I would say, "Ooh," like we would run out to the team before every
Okay.
match. We'd run out to the team. We'd do a column. I said, "Give me a single column. Give me a column." They would line up, arms up, and I'll say, "Shogun." Woo! They'd be like this, and they would turn around the word "mitsu," which means to eliminate.
Oh.
Mitsu, and they would do like that. And
Okay.
so, and then the kids would be like, "What does that mean?" And we would run back to we would run back to our spot. That's how we would introduce ourselves.
Oh
And
wow.
so,
Okay.
right off the bat, we knew for a fact that that's it. We got them. Let's get them. And they would get nervous. The other team would be like, "What are we up against? You up against Shoguns, baby." They said, "Y'all may be tigers. Y'all may we had tigers, we had the lions, we had the gardens, but this is who we are. We are the Shoguns." And then they
Okay.
would see us come out on the field, and I would also have drums. I would put on my phone Japanese koto drums. So when we run to the field, those drums, and I had our flag. Our flag, I
Okay.
put it down right next to us, and I turn it on. Boom, 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 and they would hear us all over the park. Like, who is that? And they knew that's the Shoguns. There they go. They started. Yeah, we here, baby. So that was our start.
Did you get a lot of people like come to your games for that?
Yes, yes,
Like
yes.
not just the parents, but like other people that were there, like, hey, let's go watch them play.
Yes, let's go watch them play. They would just show up out of nowhere. And we were like,
Right.
okay. And then my wife would tell me that she'd say, other people are here. Really? Wow. Okay. But when you put that type of environment with these kids, even at this age, we coddle them too much to realize that they're not competitors. Yes, they are.
Hmm.
If you give them the grit to do it. I saw one coach, and I'm not making fun of coaches, nothing like that. It's just when you're sitting there, you don't have what they need. You know what I'm saying? You have a job, right? You
Yeah.
go to work and everything.
Yes.
You have a
Hmm.
supervisor, right?
Yes.
Okay. One thing about my supervisor where I work, they give us what we need. The best supervisor, the ones who provide what you need. It's like that in a family. It's like that at work. It's like that anywhere you go. Being a supervisor or a coach or a head of anything is actually not pointing and telling people what to do. It's 75% of it is providing what they need to win.
Okay.
So My assistant coach had a place for them to sit. We had stuff over them to keep the heat off them. I bought ice packs, and yes, and my boys have shed blood on the field. A shoot shed blood on the field twice. He was cut on his knee, and
Okay.
so but he was cut by one of the cleats because he fell down, and one boy ran over him, kicked him too, and ran over him and cut him. And
Okay.
he didn't even cry. He got up,
Wow.
he wiped it off, and he put it on his shirt.
Oh,
I,
snap.
he went. Ugh. I said, "Are you okay? I'm fine. Let's go." You see that? You see
Yeah.
that? This is what I'm talking about. When they do stuff like they do, like this was a warriors, man.
So it's I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but it's kind of like the mindset. Like you're not just um how do I say it? Like training the player, but more like they're warriors. Like
Yeah,
we're here to fight, we're here to win, you know?
right. Ready to win. Right, exactly. Do you know where soccer started from?
Where soccer started from.
Hmm.
If I'm not wrong, there's like two stories. Once in England and once in Mexico, where like they will fight and the loser would they use their head or something like that.
No, actually, it
Okay.
came from China. The
Oh,
original
China.
idea of soccer came from China. Yes, and it was called ball in the hole, or each challenge pink, something like that. And the way the story goes is it was a military exercise to kick leather balls that were not full of air, but they were full of like other stuff.
Okay.
And they would kick it, and they would kick it in small holes and nets. So take a net, you put the holes in it. You've seen it before. You see it in soccer when we practice. When you're trying to bend the ball to get
Hmm.
it to go where you want to go, you kick the ball. That is a Chinese thing. That came from China.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
if you can look it up online, it gives the whole story. But it came from China. And so when I learned about that, I went, it actually was a military exercise. It taught you
Oh,
precision in shooting. It taught,
okay.
and it also taught, I think it's something about monks or something like that, how to kick and aim properly. And
Okay.
it looks like I think only the Chinese monks would do it. I could be wrong, but that's what I read online. So when I
Okay.
started learning, I said, I gotta know where soccer comes from. I gotta figure this out. But when I figured that out, I was looking like, wow, that's where it's actually from. It's actually from China. Yeah, it's interesting. So, and I love anything that has to do with Asian culture. So, like,
Okay.
that'll work for me. I can deal with that. And so, the way I came up with the name Shoguns is because I love karate. I love anything that has to do with Bushido. I love anything that has to do with that type of culture. And ironically, the movie Shogun just came out. That was on what's name. So I was like, oh, this was perfect. That was perfect. So we started going about that, and then but you teach them. You say, I say Shogun. Oh, burn. Burn in Japanese is muere or muere, to burn, muere. It
Okay.
sounds too close to Spanish, mierde. I didn't want to be like, if there's somebody that's like, why are they saying that? So I didn't want to go that route. So I said, okay, we'll just say burn. That's going to be our chant. So I would tell them to stand up, Shogun, burn, whoosh, Mitsu. That's how they would say it. And that was our
Oh,
chant every time we started.
so every single game you do this?
Oh, yeah. Every single game, they would come out at the beginning of the game and start their chant. We wait till the other team to get there. That's why it was so important for them to arrive 30 minutes early because we all do it as a team. You think about it. You have one or two or
Hmm.
three people there. It's not really, you're not putting fear into anything. You're not putting intimidation into the other team.
Okay.
So what I did was I tell the parents, do that 30 minutes early. So we can practice and get ready. And they would show up. The parents would be there. They would be
Okay.
there ready to move on, we would practice throwing the ball to each other, get in the goal, come on, let's go. And they would practice their own little thing. Most of them though, Carl, oh my God, Carl would try to start a match with other teams that he wasn't supposed to be playing just to practice. So you scream, get over here right now. Let's go, man. We gotta go. And he'd be like, I'm coming. Take a fucking start here. And so he would finally come up, but he's ready to go. And then I would put my first four out there. It would be the way we started. I would put Acute, Ezra, Carl, and Aiden. They were my first four. Give me a diamond. If we didn't receive the ball, it's square. And the square is a good way to start at any low level because square shows them that you have a defender in back to protect the goal,
Mhm.
and you have your three actual attackers. And they can work with each other because they can make a perfect triangle. So that's what I taught them. I taught them in shapes. I would
Right,
bring
right.
out
Yep.
shapes with this. Yeah, what's this? The triangle. Why is that important? Why is triangle important? Why is triangle the most important shape in the actual surface? And you'd be surprised how smart they are.
Oh yeah, yep. I agree.
And my son said because it's actually pointy and it doesn't have a way for you to crash into it, it'll always go up. You can use it as a sword to pierce through. Exactly. And then another kid would answer. He said, it's like a sword. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And if you let them experience, let them talk, they
Mhm.
come out of their shell, man. They have a lot to say. And they're smart. Just give them the intelligence, just give them the power to do it. And if I don't know if you know this, but you and I are getting older. They're gonna be
Yeah.
taking care. They're gonna be
Yep.
taking care of us when they get older. So that's how I run my team. That's how they're recognized.
Okay. Yeah, it seems a lot like you're trying to like do like a lot of the mindset because even you tell them like, hey, be here 30 minutes. That's intimidation. That's still mindset. Like getting the right mindset, you know. You're not telling them, hey, this, but in the mindset, you know. Same thing with
Hmm.
doing your pre-game before you even
Hmm.
go in, like the I can't remember how to say it, but that's still
Oh, it's
mindset. That
yeah,
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 yeah. That's still
yeah,
intimidation, which is mindset, you know. And I like that. I
hmm,
never really thought about doing that.
yeah. So what I teach coaches is give them an identity. Like there was one team called the Tigers, right?
The Tigers?
Tigers, yeah, we tied with them. They were tough. They
Okay.
were tough. But my boys, they fought. Okay, we were down. This is how good that game was. All right, check this out. So we got out there, and when we started, they scored 3-0, 3-0. That's where we were. We were down. And
Okay.
so I said, okay, we're gonna have to come back. And I brought them back. And they were not tired. They were just just feeling defeated. I said, hey, hey, hey. And this is how you get them to come out of a loss. This is how you bring them back up. I'm gonna tell you exactly how to do it. And this is for any U8 or low below. Okay. When you
Okay.
have a winning streak and you're coming up against a team that is matching your strength, you want that. You tell them, guys, look at the score. It's 0-3. We got a game, baby. They want to fight. They're not laying over. This is what we want. We want somebody that wants to fight us back. We want strength. Now we can take what they got and add it into our own. They're tigers, right? Yeah. Show them that we slaughter tigers on a daily basis. This is what we do. Show them who Shoguns are, that you cannot match us in strength. We can beat you. I told him that one speech. Carl went out there and scored 3 points in less than 30 seconds.
Wow. Okay.
The last quarter, Carl, man, dude, I gave up what I told Carl. Was like, can I come in? Can I come in? Yes, you can. Go play, baby. So he went out there. He got in his position. There's another kid. Okay, remember I told you, Carl
Hmm.
is the kind of kid. He's my Apollo. I won, but I didn't beat him. This time he beat him. The boy had him cornered. He's taller than Carl. Carl looked up. I said, eyes up. And that's another thing. I use small terms. Eyes up. That kind of stuff.
Okay.
Get in front of him. Don't keep your eyes to the ground. You're going to be an ostrich. And ostrich likes to bury his head in the ground. You're going to be an ostrich. Put your head out. So they look up. So Carl did something that was so cool, man. He ran up. He stopped him. Boom, stop. Moved the ball back, and he moved over to left. Aiden came right around it. He pitched it to Aiden. They crowded Aiden. Aiden pitched it back to him. Carl did this. Come get me.
Oh, snap.
One
Okay.
guy in front of Carl. He waited. Like ball was on the ball. And I'm still like, what are you doing? Throw the ball in. Carl's like, come on. Cross that boy. Broke his ankles. Pitch that ball in that goal. This is U8. This is U8. These kids are young. This is between 7 and 8 years old.
Hmm.
Carl's like, come on. Oh, oh, my. I said, you have to get on tape. His dad got it on tape. I got it on tape. Got it on tape. And so he kicked that in there. He kicked that. Oh, my goodness, man. I was sitting there. I said, you beat him. Yeah, I beat him. But the way he did it when he walked off the field, when he scored it. We caught up and tied it before the end of the quarter. We needed one more point. We could beat it, but we tied. Carl looked at him like he gave that look like that and walked off past him and said, dude. And so my son did something. He was the only one that scored in the one against the Guardians. And me and Ezra, I call him he's my wrecking crew, he's my tank. And so they had mobbed Aiden again, really put the pressure on him. Aiden pitched it out to Ezra. Ezra just, he one touch to the goal. Pop, goal, right into the goal. He was the only one to score in the whole game. I ran up to him, I grabbed him. As a coach, you got to maintain your composure. I didn't care. I ran out to the field and I grabbed him and I squeezed him and I hugged him and I kissed him as much as I could. And I ran back to my post. I said, do it again, do it again. So it was just the way I teach them is to use your family energy.
Okay.
And yeah, use your family energy to movement. And then I can tell you about Acute and his mother. His mother, Acute is his name is, he's from India. They're from India.
Mm-hmm.
And so Acute and Shri were my guardians. They were my strongest boys besides my son on the team. They were my defensive end. Acute scored because he was able to run faster. When we first started with Acute, I know a little bit about conditioning when it comes to working with children. His gait was very off. He would run as people flap everywhere. So every practice, we practiced on his gait. So I would tie ropes or bands around his leg to make him, when he ran, he would have to really initiate his quadriceps to fire. So when he runs, he didn't run with his legs everywhere. I put weights on the bottom, little 5-pound weights on the bottom of his ankles, made him run with his 5-pound ankles up and down the field. And his mom said, how was this going to help? I said, Acute, come here. He ran over to me. I said, I want you to take the weights and do another lap up and bring it back. Okay. So he ran up and he ran back, gave him a couple minutes to rest, took it off. And I said, now run again. He had a stride that would look like he was from Kenya. His stride would change. His whole movement and the way he moved would change. And his mom was like, her eyes just went, he can run like that? I said, you need to put that boy in track. I said, that's over. So, but he scored 3 times in the season. So, and okay. I know we're running out of time, so I don't want to overtime, but one other thing that I'll tell coaches that are starting, this is your goal. Your goal is not just to win. My goal when I started is to make sure every child scored. Does that make sense?
All right, say it again.
Every child to me has to score.
Okay.
Every kid on the team has to have the potential to score once. If that is your main goal, especially at U8, you will be successful as a coach.
Okay.
So I just have 4 rules. Conditioning, give them a sense of honor and dignity. Make sure that they are up to the challenge of whatever they face and they never give up. And always give them what they need to win.
Okay.
That's it. And once you do that, give them the reins and let them run. Let them play. Let the boys play. Whether it's a bad referee or not, they're going to do well. I promise. Mm-hmm. So I had my issues, but let me go ahead and let you ask your question. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I get to rambling. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
One of the things that I did have a problem with one parent, and this is going to happen too in coaching. You're going to have a problem with a parent you think that isn't, you're not playing. His name is Griffin. Now, Griffin, I'm going to tell you something about Griff. I call him Griff or Grifter. Another comic book character I like from a game called Wildcats, Grifter. And he had a problem focusing, but the problem is with him, he would just get up and leave in the middle of a play. He just get up and walk off the field.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We'd be in the middle of play. He'd get up and walk off, and I'm done. I'm like, hey, man, where you going? And so I would have to fill in with somebody else. And that was a consistent thing. His father, at the end of when we lost to the Guardians, we had reclaimed our points with the other team. So we got the other team. And then I was trying to play him, but he didn't want to play. So he left the field and he went off somewhere with my other son. I don't know where they went. And so I didn't really know what was happening. But as a head coach, you're not really focused on who's not there. You focus on who's there.
Yeah.
And so, I didn't know he was gone. I didn't know he left. And so my other coach was like, I said, we were trying to cycle him out, keep everybody in evenly, give him even amount of time. He wasn't there. Griffin, if you work with him, has the ability to stop the crowd. Okay, what I mean by that, he has the ability to move the entire team in motion, stop them, and they fall, and he has the whole field open to himself. That's how fast he was.
Okay.
He was a powerful player. All you have to do is work with him, and you're gonna have those. You're gonna have those kids who are all those players, they're looking at butterflies and stuff. But if you give them that same sense, hey man, you a shogun. Where you at, man? You got to be over there with your boys, man. You can't just leave him by himself. We waiting on you. We waiting on you to do your thing. I know what your power is. You got to show us. And he went, okay. He'll run out there and go to the field. Well, we won the game, but his dad got mad because he said Griffin didn't get enough time in the field. So I was trying to find out what's going on, and I told him, I said, well, he wasn't here. He has to be here in order for me to play him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course.
When you leave the field, what do you want me to do? I'm not going to go chase after him. And so, finally, like I told you, I'm the kind of coach, I get the parents involved. So after that, my wife said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We will make sure we have even time with the field. And then Luke's father said, hey, calm down. They won the game. You just made a mockery out of everything. We're celebrating because we won, and you still up here just made the entire environment, toxic.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that. And he's saying, so the families got together to take care of it too. It wasn't just me controlling the situation. Everybody came in and controlled it. After that, I went back, and I'm the kind of coach, I'm the kind of person, I don't ignore parents' grievances.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad because what if I did I mess up? Like, did I mess up the coach? Did I not pay him enough? Like, am I not paying enough attention to him? Am I not giving him the energy that he needs to want to be there? Like, what am I doing? I thought about that for the whole weekend. I was in a deep, not depression, but a deep thought about it. My wife was like, are you okay? No, I'm not. His dad came after me because he felt his son wasn't getting enough time. How did he feel? Did he run off because he didn't feel like he was a part of the team? Is that how I made him feel? So I said, okay, I know how I'm going to do this. I know the ones that need help the most, and I know the ones that I can build with. So I separated them. There's 8 players, right? Perfect. I separated between the blue and gold teams, like X-Men, the blue and gold teams. So I had the blue team and the gold team. And so we train, that's how we train. So the way to make it even on the field, I would say, blue team, let's go on the field. Blue team starts. Gold team, second quarter. Blue team, second quarter. Gold, third quarter. Gold team, fourth quarter. Let's go. We end it. Whoever we end it is the way we end it.
Okay.
That's how I settled the whole entire thing of not getting enough time in the field. I separated them in teams. And then those cohesive teams come together. They become very close.
Right,
and,
of course.
Another thing you can do, you want to throw them off balance. I learned this. I learned this from my coach. He would get the roughest players. He would get the dirtiest players from the neighborhood, people that never played football. And he say, y'all gonna match them today. Match who? I'm not matching them hooligans. Who was that? He said, well, they come from another neighborhood, but they play football on the street. Y'all gonna play with them today. Well, coach, we have other teams that we play now. Y'all gonna play them. Let's go. And we put on our stuff, and these guys had no pads, no helmet, no nothing.
Okay.
All geared up. We had all our stuff. And this other team in football, they wouldn't. I'm like, and we would, with our, all of our speciality and everything, these boys ran us over so bad. They would just push us out the way. We were trying to grab them. We couldn't hold them. And coach was just sitting there like this. I thought I touched out better than that. And then at the end of it, we're like, well, I don't know how we lost. We lost because you have not gone against anything stronger than you. You got to go up against something that's a lot more difficult than you. But that's what I did. I found a team that was not in the league. There are a bunch of kids that just like to play soccer. They knew the rules. No, let them go ahead and to scrimmage against my team. Man, that gives your team a whole different perspective on winning when they have to
Okay.
struggle for what they need. They have to fight because these guys are tough. Like, no, that means you got to be tough. And I did what Coach Porter did. I sat back and I did like this. You gonna help us? No, you guys are okay. Let's keep going. They're beating us, Coach. Well, you better figure out a way to win. But I didn't want them to win. I wanted them to lose. I wanted them to
Okay.
lose with honor. And also, another thing I can tell you to teach them is to never fight against each other.
Okay.
That is a no-no on the team for me. That will get you laps with me. If you miss a goal and your teammate tells the other teammate, that was your fault. Oh, really? Then what were you to catch the ball to make sure it didn't go out of bounds?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
you forgot. You forgot that this is a team thing, huh? Oh, you know what? 10 laps right now. Let's hit it. What? 10 laps. You're going to talk about him that he missed that goal, but you didn't help support him. Where were you? You weren't
Right.
offside. Where were you? 10 laps, baby. Let's go. Get it. And he comes back tired. Now, let's try that again. Look at your man and tell him, I should have been there for you, man. I'm sorry. I was tired. They had me tied up. I couldn't get to you. You probably would have had it if I would have got there in time. He said, that's all right. We'll do it next time. They have another rule. Give them something to, when they come off the field, make sure they either fist bump or slap. Whoosh. You're taking my position. Make sure, whoosh. They hear that on the field. Like, what does that mean? That's their thing. That's what they say. Whoosh. And they get out there
Like
and they play.
like your players say that when like if you're
Yeah.
getting like I'm getting substituted off, I'm saying
Yeah. They
whoosh.
come out. Yeah, they come out. They hit each other's hand, whoever they're substituting for. Whoosh. And they run on the
Okay.
field. That's a connection. That's a live
Okay.
connection. And I will never see, whenever I see this, like they try to give hands up, like this, come sit down. Let me tell you something that happened. So this was the first game. This was my first game that we won. Carl was running. He had scored on this boy like twice or something like that. The boy got mad and hit Carl in the chest while he was running. He hit him, like punched him dead in the chest.
Oh wow.
And then Carl started crying. He started crying. And he was like, I said, come here, come here, come here. He wanted to go back and hit him again. I said, no, 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 no. Come here, come here. Let me show you. Put your arms up. Give me an X. Say, look him dead in the face and you say, ooh. And he went, he did it, but his growl was deeper than mine. He looked at that boy. I said, look at him and say, for every injury you give me, that's 2 points that I'm gonna give to you. Carl went to work. Like, they're gonna feel us going to that point to me, daggone time. That it won't be funny. He was, but you see what I gave him?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
coaches do that too. Don't hit him back. For what? What you fighting him for? No, get him back here. Get him back in his mind. Show him that you belong to me.
Okay.
You belong to me. Now it's time to take your heart from me. Now I'm gonna take you to you try to take my energy. I'm gonna take your heart. And call that boy. Come right here. Like, well, you gonna cost money. Aiden, Aiden would be, and then who else? Griffin, like I said, one play in one of our games, and this is when we work with him. Griffin has the ability to stop both teams. He was that fast. His ball
Okay.
control needs to be worked on. But he would go one way, and they would follow him. And then he would stop, switch directions. The other team would go in the other direction. He'd be going that way. Both teams, he would do that to both teams. We had to literally teach him how not to. Don't outjuke your team. Outjuke that team. Don't outjuke your team. He says, I can't help it. I know. But, but when you're going that fast and going that forward, make sure that you're stopping enough to keep your guys following you. Okay. So he learned it. He had the team going. He had the ball. He put the brakes on and the ball, they would help it. So, I mean, the best thing I can tell you is, man, your kids have the power. To give you this one, Shree, at one point in my game, Shree, I call him my raging demon. He is more protective for his team than anything, but he's such a consoling soul. Like if the team is hurt, he would cover them. He would get on top of him and cover him, and wouldn't let nobody try to get past him. He would say, "No, you can't. He's hurt. I'm not gonna let you over it. No." And if anybody tries to hurt him or try to get get to him, he would push him off. He would move him out of the way. So one play, Ezra, my son, had the ball. He's moving it up the field, and he would protect Ezra. So he had his blocker, and I call him a spotter and a shooter. So whoever has the ball is the shooter. Whoever's helping keep him clear was the spotter. Shree would actually move in, and if they would try to cut you off or steal the ball, here comes Shree. Oh, oh my God. It's not a, and I would say, okay, listen, that's nice, but you can't kill him. He said, I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to make sure they don't get to Ezra. Okay, all right. Just be gentle. You ain't got to kill him. All right. And steal the ball the same way. So that was his whole idea of protection. But when I would say rage, I would tell him if we're in a point where we need a goal, Shree, look at me, rage, go get it. My raging demon, go get it. He would get out there and do the best defending that you've ever seen in your life for us to score.
Okay.
That's how Call scored, because he was defending the way he was supposed to. And that's how you move in. That's how you protect your goals. They would defend heavily. And you give them their sense, man. You just give them the ability to move, and they'll do it.
Yeah. So it kind of seems like it goes back to the same thing. Like you work a lot of the mindset, make them like the warriors, like not just soccer players, but like that warrior mentality. Like, hey, we're here to win,
Mm-hmm. And if you show, it's kind of like this. Let's just say you're going to any game. Let's say you're going to any game. Let's say you're not going to a soccer game. You see the team that is excited. They're ready to be there. They can't wait to play. But then you see the other team like, I don't really care. I don't really want to be here. Which coach do you think is putting in the most effort for them to be excited about winning?
The other team. The one that's wants to be there.
Right. Because the other team wants to be there. They see their passions. They see I won this. It's something that men today, we don't have. We don't have rites of passage. I don't know how you do it, but a rite of passage for a boy is important. And the reason why is because it teaches us to achieve something. If you grow up and you don't have that, and your parents or your family or anybody, a social worker or anybody doesn't give you that sense of achievement, to your rite of passage, you earn this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get lost. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to figure yourself out. You don't know what to do. Well, you give them just an inkling of a rite of passage. And that's what these patches were.
Okay.
Day one. That's what you give them to the parents, some to sew them on or iron them on. Put them on their shorts. Put them on their pants. That's their rite of passage. You won, dude. You did it. When they beat that last game, they got their symbol on their back. They didn't know what to do. I can tell you this, they look good on the field. If you look at my friends, they look good on the field. They look fly, man. Their hair was cut. They look straight. They look like professionals. So that's how I coach. How I always will coach.
Okay. Yeah, no, it sounds interesting. Yeah. I've talked to other coaches as well, right on here.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of things they say, it's kind of mindset, My first guest that I had, he said like he has a vision board and he'll be like like this is the goals we have, the vision we need, It's kind of same thing what you have. It's just a little bit different because you make them seem like they're warriors, like, hey, we got this honor to fight for. We're not just going out there to have a game,
I agree. And Aiden, my speedster, we had a symbol. When I wanted to go home and I wanted to end this game, I do this. And I look at him and say, Aiden, end it. Let's go home. Okay. Aiden get out there and just start scoring. And then that would be the end of it. So I'm trying to think of who else I had. All my players I wanted to mention. I got Luke, Aiden, Achute, Stree, Ezra, Griffin, Carl, and there's one more that I'm forgetting. And oh my goodness, who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting one other player. And I'm gonna hate myself for this because if they see this, they're gonna be mad at me too. Oh my goodness, it'll come to me in a second. I gotta remember. I'm trying to remember my last player.
So I know you mentioned that next season you got to coach again, right? Because you had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
You liked it. Are you
yeah.
gonna have the same players, or you gotta start over again, like a whole new
Um,
program? How does that?
I get 4 players. So including my son from the old
Okay.
team. I can only choose 4 and then they give me 4. But there's a loophole with it that the parents can request me. If they
Okay.
like the work, they can request me. And if the actual administrator, if he wants to do it, he'll give them to me. And then we'll have our team again. But they do it to be fair because they don't want to create super PACs. They go
Right.
out recruiting other kids. I kind of understand that because my team, the way I'm going to have them, if they come back to me, they know each other. You
Right.
feel me? It's kind of like when you're, let's just talk about like one of my favorite teams in soccer is actually the Japanese team. The reason why they have that ability to play the way they do is because they actually know each other really well. Their entire society is based upon knowing each other's family. So even
Oh
when they
wow.
play, each of the team members, they know each other. They have their stuff. They know who they are. That's important. That's really
Okay.
important. And so if they play together, and the good thing is Ezra and Carl go to school. That was cool. Ezra and Carl go to the same school together.
Okay.
So one day Ezra was playing soccer out in recess, and they're in the same grade. So Carl saw Ezra playing by himself with a bunch of boys. So Carl ran out to him, and they beat the boys together. It was 2v4. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2v4, and they beat them together. I said, I went to go pick them up, and then Carl he said, "Hey, we beat some boys on the school play today." I said, "What y'all play there?" He said, "We played them. We were at school, and they were playing with Ezra, and Ezra by himself, and then I went out there to help them, and then we beat them together." That's what I call coaching. It's
Okay.
not just on that field. If they see their friends and you've created a cohesive team, they see their friends on the field and they're by themselves. I gotta go help my boy, man. I can't, Daddy, pull over, Daddy, man. We gotta pull over. He's out there playing. I can't let him play by himself. They run out there and they play together. You ever seen that? Like in real life? Like, okay, I don't know. Like you ever been in a let's just say you've been in a fight or a tussle with
Yep.
other people. And then you have a brother, an older brother, that's not gonna let you fight by yourself. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And they all jump in, like you fight my boy, you fighting all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, oh man, there's strength in numbers. You know what I'm saying? But if you teach them that to defend each other, no matter where you are, to teach them when you see each other, you say, give each other a hug, man. Hey, what's up? Ooh, that's a thing between y'all. Nobody knows what that means, but y'all do. Y'all know what oof means. You know what
Right.
Mitsu means. You know, they say Mitsu, Mitsu. They're looking at you like, I don't know what that means, but I know what it means. Yeah, we know what it means. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at military settings, in military combat, they're the same way. You have a branch of the military that are in different squads. Different squads have different tattoos. That's this
Okay.
squad. I know that squad. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, dog, those are cocky dudes right there, man. Yeah, I know them. I know them cats. You keep that name out there, they'll remember you. They'll remember who the Shoguns are. Whatever team you name, you know
Yeah.
who they are. They're raw, man. Yeah, they are. Can you beat them? I don't know. They're strong. But I think the biggest recognition you can get is after a game, the coach comes up to you and tells you, man, your boys are strong. God, I never thought they were. I didn't, man, I knew you guys were, in a good spot, but I didn't know y'all were this tough. That is the biggest compliment you can give to me, is that how strong you were. Yeah,
Okay.
I had one team, they gave up in the second quarter. They didn't want to come out to the field no more.
Oh, they didn't at all.
No, they didn't want to come out in the field no more. The kids just gave up. They went to sit down. The coach was like, "Hey, what's going on?" He was like, "No, we don't want to play them no more." Why not? I said, I said, "Hey, what's going on with y'all?" He said,
Yeah.
"We don't want to play no more." I said, "Y'all better get back out on this field. Why y'all sitting there looking all sad? You're facing a good team. This is what y'all want. Why y'all?" And this is to me. And I maybe I put myself out. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. But my team was like, you ever be working out real hard and then somebody comes and stops you in the middle of your workout and you got to start all over again?
Mm-hmm.
You got to get your heart rate up all over again.
Yep.
That is the most annoying thing ever. And that's how my team was. Like, dude, we in a groove and they sitting up there want to stop. No, y'all get that back. Y'all get back on that field. Let's go. Come on, let's fight. Let's get this over with. And say, y'all lose or not, we're going to get back on that field. And when he got back out there, they played again. But then that team, they didn't
Yeah.
score again. but they played with a lot more heart. They wanted to play more. And she gave them a sense of ownership. That's all it is.
Okay.
That's all it is. You got to give them a sense of ownership. They'll, you think they just play video games or they look at, but you don't really know what your child is thinking. You don't really know. You can't read that mind. You never
Yeah.
know. And I've heard my children say some things that come out of their brains. I'm like, well, where you get that from? Where you get that from? Really? Okay. Yeah, and if you get that, it's the most, yeah, it's the most brilliant thing ever. No matter what sport you play.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It's it. So it goes back to mindset. Make them warriors, but also
Mhm.
a team, a camaraderie. You know.
Yes, yes,
So it's not just like me against everybody else. No, it's a team. It's
right,
everybody together. Have that
right.
sense of ownership, that
Hmm.
pride. That we're fighting for something. We're not just going
Right,
out there to do because we're here.
right.
You have to do it. You know.
What we did at the end of at the last game, this is what we did. I like the Round Rock medal, but we didn't get those until today. I wanted to give them their medals now. So what
Yeah.
I did was I bought my medals for them. I bought them gold medals, soccer gold medals.
Okay.
I bought them, and then I also bought them a Shogun necklace, and I gave them a katana, a wooden katana.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
they're not expensive; they're like $7. I have it, and so what I did was I put the necklace on. I put their everybody that had any part in helping. My oldest son Everett, who would help us in practice. My daughter Astrid. Uh, all the kids, even one of the father, Carl's dad's youngest son, Leon, who was coming up. Leon's gonna be a bad dude when he gets to playing there. I hope I get him one day. And so I put them all gold medal. This is y'all metal. They look better anyway. They were heavier metal. They look good. They were sturdy. They look nice. So, and then you see when you give it to them. I got
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
picture. You see, you give it to them. They stand there at attention.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
You know, why do you think that is? Why do you think they stand there at attention? If
That
you
proud. Yeah. The proud moment.
proud, a proud moment, right? How many proud moments as a youth do you get? Not a lot.
Mm-mm.
You don't get the kind of praise. You know what that's going to do later on in life for them? Not just in the soccer field, but in life. They're going to remember this. They're going to remember that this was the best. Griffin at the last game came up to me and said, "You are the best coach I ever had."
Wow. Okay.
The one that I had the problem with. He ran
Yeah.
up to me and said, "You are the best coach I ever had." Oh, and one thing how I included Griffin,
Hmm.
um, he had a red and black soccer ball. As you can see, red and black is my favorite color. He
Yeah.
had a red and
Okay.
black soccer ball. I said, "I want to play with that one every time. Make sure you bring the ball every time. Every game, that's the game we're going to play with." And that's how we started. His ball was the game ball.
Wow.
So
Okay.
at the end of it, everybody signed the game ball. And then my Shogun flag, parents, children, anybody had signed the flag. They all put this thing on it. I don't know who put. I guess it's blood on there. I don't know. I think somebody touched it while they were bleeding or something and put blood on the actual flag. I'm like, okay, well, I can't watch it. So when I did that with him, I put it up on my son's wall. That's his flag. He has on his wall in his room. But he's gonna remember that game. He's gonna remember this whole experience of how good it was. He still talks about it. He
Oh
talks
yeah.
about
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So he's like, "Daddy, remember this? Remember this?" Yes, I do, man. Yes, I do.
Yeah, no, I
So
think I think as I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think as
no, go
coaches
ahead.
we have a bigger impact than we think we do in the kid's life. It goes back to the same thing. Even with the katana that you give them, it makes even in like my mind, like I picture myself as a warrior or like a strong,
Yes,
fearless warrior, and I
yes.
can only assume what they were thinking.
They earned it. They
Oh, by
fought.
far, yeah.
They fought. They actually bled on the field, bro. Like they got cut, stomped on. Like, and if you think about this, you shed blood on the field. All right. In football, we would we would get hit, and the mask didn't protect them. You have to spit out something to hit us.
Yeah.
And then coach was like, and then my mother would say this. My mother, who was pretty much a fearless warrior in herself, was also a good coach. My mother say, "Are you guts hanging out?" That's how she. Like if you're hurt, you come up, hey boy, are your guts hanging out? No, get up. You okay? Go over there. Your guts ain't hanging out. You're okay. And I'm like, all right. You get up and you start running again. That's how she trained me and my brothers. Are your guts hanging out? No. Are you dead? No. Okay. Well, I think you're gonna be fine. So
Right.
I had the last game. They were the last game they just played against the Lions. I came up with, and that's another thing too. If you look on my website, um, I have us facing things. So the Shoguns versus the Guardians, the Shoguns versus the Lions, the Shoguns versus the Cheetahs. And I would put pictures and I would animate it to where you got Shoguns coming out with swords, riding horses, fighting these big old humongous lions. So the parents would be like, oh man, this is gonna be a good game. Yeah. And I would have Japanese drums in the back of those videos, all of that stuff. And then I don't know where it came from.
Okay,
I
so
don't
hold
know
on.
where it came from.
Give me hold on, give me a second. So you made this video with you guys were coming in like animated pictures, right? Or videos?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A few guys coming out with swords.
Yeah,
Is
well,
that correct?
it was from not them, not them. It's just like pictures of videos and different videos, different memes of
Okay.
like us coming. Yeah, like not us as a team, but just us. And then in the middle of those introductions, you could see us playing. Like this is who we're playing. You see our kids. I got if you pull it up, you probably can see it. I don't know how to work it. I'm
Okay.
on my phone, so I can't pull it up. If you go into
Okay.
Shogun Saga, you can see them every time.
Is
And
that
then
it's like a website? Or is that on your
it's
Facebook?
on Facebook. It's on Facebook. Uh-huh.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna
then
look it up right now because
all right, and so you'll see them like, and then the Japanese drums in there. There's stories in there. So they're like, you know, how you read the stories, and
yeah,
they
yeah.
like, see, game two is coming up. Prep for game two, and then doom, 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 and then they're in the back. And I would tell them, show the kids this. Another thing too, have Zoom meetings with your teams, with your
Have
boys.
what? Have what?
Zoom meetings with your boys. So like right now we're having a Zoom meeting, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Set
yeah.
up a Zoom. Yeah, set up a Zoom meeting with just your boys as a team. We talk about their toys. They talk about whatever it could be, what they like to do, and they get together and they talk to each other. They go off and get
Okay.
ice cream. You could put a movie on and then share the movie, and they all watch it together. That's how you're
Okay.
building a cohesive team. That's the little thing. It's the little things that work. But and
Okay.
then though when they say, and then we were at the last game, they were getting lethargic and tired, and they were just running around. And the Lions were the last team. So I said, "Hey," I got mad. I said, "Hey, look at me, my Shogun. We are hunting lions, not chasing them.
You said this in front of everybody else?
We are hunting lions, not chasing them. Get out there and give me what I want to see. Where's my diamond? Where am I? You know your points. You know what you're supposed to do. Put them down and give them to me. Let's go. I want to wear them. I want to wear this shirt. Let's go." And they got out there and started, what they started scoring like crazy, moving the ball back and forth, getting into it. But that's all you need to do with these boys, man. You
Okay.
don't have to. You don't have to yell at them or scream at them. You don't have to tell them that. You just give them the pride to move forward. You'd be surprised what you get out of it. It's
Right.
hard though, even as a father. It's hard. It's hard being a coach, even as a father. So I start trying to mimic the way I coach with my kids. I start giving them the same reality. My daughter, she's my dragon. I call her my dragon. She
Okay.
is. Astrid is a dragon. And if anybody don't realize it, you ain't gonna realize it. She's strong like that. So what I did was to teach her, I taught her that her skin has to be tough like scales. She has to have fangs to be able to fight back. You have to learn to breathe fire, breathe cold, breathe air, breathe life into people. This is your breath of fire. This is what you have to learn to do. You're going to come through all these. Your underbelly is the softest part of your body. You have to make sure it stays tight. Keep your wings. Your wings are going to grow in. Make sure you take care of your wings. These are all analogies that you give, illustrations that you give them. And they can visualize them in their head. And they'll
Yeah,
see
yeah.
it. And then once they realize it, that gives them a sense of, I am a dragon. Yeah, you are. Look what you did. Look how strong you are. My other son, he has severe ADHD. And the way I had to train him, he's my Pegasus. He's hard to fly. You have to, if you're gonna be able to control a Pegasus, they have to trust you. All right. Let me tell you something what that does on the outside as coaching as a parent. My sons and I were at the park. We were practicing our soccer, and we went for a walk. In Wells Branch Parkway, which is where we live. There was a lady there. We didn't know her, but we parked next to our house all the time because we had to get out to go across the street to the park. It was a rainy day. She was crossing the street. She fell down, my man, face first.
Oh wow.
She fell face down. This is what coaching and being not just a good parent, but a good coach does. My sons did not think they got out the car. My son struggled to get me out of the car because I wasn't looking. He said, "Are we going to help her?" I said, "Yeah." Ever opened the door, pushed the door open, ran out into the middle of the street to help her. Ezra pushed me up. I'm in the front seat. He's in the back seat. He pushes me up for flipping, fought to get to the door to go help her. All three of us helped her to her house.
Right, right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But look how him and his brother worked together. They were cohesive. They were a tight knit. They knew how to do things. Ezra picked her up from the left arm. Oh, I'm sorry. Ezra picked her up from the left arm. Ezra picked her up from the right. Ezra too short to hold her, so he put his arm around her while Everett held her hand. They knew how to work together. Do that same kind of mindset to your team. It'll be a finely working machine. I promise you.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
That's how it works. And it doesn't matter if say you got a kid that is not really soccer, material. Because I mean, you're gonna be real. Some of them are, some of them aren't.
Yeah.
But if you give him one chance to score, if you teach him one chance to score, you'd be surprised what you get. If you go to play where you're going to score, but you got to be in your position to do it, and you have split second timing, and you practice it over and over and over and over and over and over, repetition, repetition, and reinforcement, repetition, positive reinforcement, repetition. Don't do it. And then he is now like, he feels like this. You know what I'm saying? So I would play music and I practice. I grew up in the 80s. So I'm going to play music from Bloodsport. I'm going to play music from The Karate Kid. I'm going to play music from Rocky, Eye of the Tiger. I'm going to play stuff like that. And
Okay,
then when
yeah.
they get out and they hear that stuff, they're like, yeah, man. And you get a good sound speaker. You play that during practice, they get into the groove of it. Just like we used to when we were kids. I don't know. I watch that stuff when I was a kid all the time. I
Yeah,
watched
yeah.
kickboxing. I watched that kickboxer, Sean Claude Van Damme. They were our heroes. Dolph Lundgren in Rocky and Rocky himself, Apollo Creed. These were the people we looked up to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's different now. These kids don't. They look at different stuff. But you'd be surprised when you reintroduce that stuff to them especially on a soccer field. Uh-uh, uh-uh. My son Everett. I didn't get a chance to coach him this year because he had a different coach. But they lost every single game,
Okay.
and Everett doesn't want to play anymore. He says, "I don't want to play soccer anymore." But then the coach he had previous, and I love his coach previous. I love his coach. He was right after me. And so I didn't get a chance to coach this and got coaching the Astros team. And so his coach before that, I love him to this day. He's an excellent coach. Everett ran up to him and gave him a really strong hug. And he said, how you liking soccer, man? He said, I don't like it anymore. He said, why? He said, I'm not doing good. He said, remember the position I played in? Remember how you played in my position when you was on my team? Everyone, yeah. Remember that you were actually a defensive end and you were good at saving the ball and then scoring the ball if nobody else was there? Go back and play your position. His coach told him that. Go back and play your position. You'll be fine. He gave him a really strong hug. He said, remember, his team were actually called the Warriors. That was the team name. The
Oh,
Warriors.
okay.
He said, you're a warrior. Go play as a warrior for this team. I think his team named the Hot Cheetos or something like that. And so Everett went back out on the field, man. He went back out on the field and played his little heart out. He played with vigor, man. I'm saying he scored once. They still lost, but he scored. Did you see his old coach? His old coach gave him a sense of pride. When I coached this team, he had that sense of pride. It's just They need motivation to do their best. That's all they
Right,
need.
of course. Yeah,
And
yeah,
you and like I don't know if you want to ask me about plays or anything like that. How we set up plays.
yeah. Oh, my bad. It's just what you're um I'm learning a lot. This is why I like doing this because
Mhm,
I myself learn about it, you know. So yeah, I like what you're doing, you know. I really do,
mhm,
and I think I should incorporate it myself a little bit. That war
mhm,
mindset, you know, that we are here to fight. You know,
mhm.
like that kid that was bleeding and he put it all over his shirt. Man,
That
that
was so cold. Even with, ugh, I went, oh shoot, and then his dad, oh his mom. Actually, that was a cheat. His mom is the only one that came to the game. I never met his dad. I just met his mom. His mom is a warrior. She is my ninja because she would go out to the field every day and watch every single team and report back to me how the team played.
oh wow. Okay.
She was my ninja, dude. Beautiful, strong woman. God, just a strong person. She was good with the shoot. She was just a powerful person. And she would tell me, they are very tough, but I can show you how they play. Okay. She was my ninja. She was my informant. And then, you know how everybody brings the snacks and stuff. You have to
Hmm.
coordinate that as well.
Right, right.
So one day I think I messed up and I forgot to tell who the next parent was. Shree's dad just went to Walmart, picked up everything, and brought it back. No question. Made sure we had everything we needed. I also another thing I have to do, like I said, I go back to giving them what they need. I had ice packs in case they got kicked or hurt. I had cold towels and ice. When it's hot, you put it around the neck to cool them off.
Yeah.
I gave them, make sure they had water, good strong water. I never gave them Gatorade. Gatorade is just sugar. It's not going to do
Hmm.
anything. Give them good
Yeah.
water. You know, or if you're a parent, give them like liquid IV or something like that to give them electrolytes too because they're doing a lot of running. Gatorade has electrolytes, but it's a lot more sugar than it is what you need.
Yeah.
I don't agree with Gatorade. So and then I will also bring this fruit. Bring them when they're on the sidelines, have them eat grapes and different types of fruit, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. It gives them more energy to eat, and they get on the field, they have more energy to run. You get surprised what that does to them.
Oh
And so,
wow.
yeah, give them fruit, man. Like, have their parents bring them fruit. Bring them, it got nothing stuff in it, just fruit. Bring them fruit, have them eat it. Put it in there, keep going. That's all you have to do. And then from there, what they'll do, they know they're going to have like a little Ziploc bag snacks.
Hmm.
They're waiting to go. Make sure nobody has any allergies. Ask the parents if they have allergies. And then one of the things is too is collaboration with their boys. Uh, and girls too. If you are a coaching girls teams, it's the same thing. You are going to have to learn to sit with them and talk with them. So on our first loss, which was our hardest loss, they they were crying. One of them was crying because they lost. They were so sad. But I said, guys, come here. And then without any hesitation, they ran to each other and hugged each other because Carl was crying. So they ran to Carl and they surrounded Carl and they just held him like, I'm like, that's what this is all about. So the next practice on Monday, I bought him ice cream. I bought ice cream, vanilla ice cream, and chocolate ice cream, little sample cups with like little spoons. We
Okay.
went to practice for the first 3 minutes before practice. I said, no, 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 no. Sit down, sit down. Here, here's your ice cream. You guys get ice cream for that loss, man. And I said, let's talk about the loss. How y'all felt? And then one of the kids like, I felt bad. I felt like I could have tried harder. You think you could have tried harder? Yeah. Luke was like, I kicked the wrong ball into the goal. I know. Don't worry about it, though. I said, you ain't been in a while, so you wouldn't really know where we were going. And all we did for like 3 minutes is talk before we started our practice. And then
Okay.
I had the flag next to us, and it's blowing. To give you a visualization, we're just sitting around talking about that last game. So how are we going to do it next time? What are we going to do? And Ezra went, well, we can practice more. They were using a long game, like kicking the ball far, so we have to run to get the ball and try to save the goal. So what do you
Okay.
think we need to do? We need to keep the ball on their side. Exactly. Keep the fight on their field. We own the field. They don't. We do. That's another thing I would say. Hey, set this field on fire, take the heart from them and leave it there. and let's get out of here. Let's win this and go. And they'll be like, yes. And they get out there and they ready to battle. And it's like, ooh, look at this, boy. It's a soccer game today, baby. So, but we had that meeting. They felt better. They felt privileged that even though it was a loss, they went against a very tough team, and the team only scored 2 points on them the entire game. And the game is 40 minutes. They didn't kill them, and then they still scored on the best team. They didn't wipe them out. They tried, but they couldn't do it. So, and it's like, and then that coach came up. He's like, "You have some strong boys, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I hope we face you guys again." I say, "Oh, you will. Don't worry. You'll face us again." And so, you know, when you give them that sense of pride, man, the the hardest thing to do is to see them lose.
Of course, yeah.
But when their spirits get caught on fire again after the next win, when they win the next game, and you say, "We gotta win that, we gotta win that, all right," and they hug each other. Oh my God, that is like the most gorgeous thing. They won that one back. They feel strong. They feel like they're set ready for the next game. And the next game, let's keep going. And then the season comes to an end. I feel privileged to coach them because they gave me their energy. They gave me everything they had. And there's so much emotion that went into the loss, and so much more of them getting hurt and getting cut and feeling the power. Dan, the boy I was saying about Dan, my most balanced player. And I mean balance between agility, consistency, accuracy. Oh my God, accuracy. The boy was so accurate. And all I taught him, aim small, miss small. That's all I taught him. I said, stop aiming for the goal and aim for the R that's in the center of the goal. Or aim for that little blade of grass. You ever heard of that, aim small, miss small?
No, I haven't.
It's a military term. It's something that they teach snipers in Marine Corps training and in Army training, or whatever branch does it. But if you aim for something as large as, say, like a tree trunk, you have more of a way of missing. But if you aim as small as a penny, you have more at missing, and you have more accuracy at hitting the target. So aim small, miss small. That's how you shoot. If you teach that in the beginning, especially this age, aim small, miss small, you'd be surprised how well these boys aim and shoot to that goal. So Dan, sitting up there wrecking 4v1, 4 players on 1 player, he's just bowling them off of, got the ball. I got a video of it. The boys got the ball with his legs, running. 4 people on him. 4 people are on him. He kicked that ball so hard that you see the back of the net fly out. Like down. And then, did he break the net? Nope. And then Dan comes. I got a picture of Dan running off the field. He looked like I call him my Yamamoto. He's Yamamoto. He looked like Yamamoto from Japan, like World War II. He looked like Yamamoto in a samurai outfit. That's how I got a picture of him running off the field, looking like a straight soldier. Just even his picture, he stands like this. Doesn't smile, just like this. He never smiles. He does. This is how he looks. He was one of my favorites. He is. You're not supposed to have favorites, but he was probably him and my son. They were my favorites because they were the most balanced players. They were tanks. So just that's what I can tell you is that how. But if you give him, if he already had pride, all he needed was the direction. You gave him the direction to shoot. One of the coaches said, this is how another reason how you know that he was a dangerous player. One of the coaches in one of the games said, "You see that boy Dan? You see this Dan? Because his name is on the back of the shirt. See Dan? Yeah, you gotta stop him." And I started laughing at him. I said, "You ain't gonna stop him. He's gone." I said, "Wait till he starts scoring." Look at boy Clark. There you go. But yeah, what else you want from him, man? I got as much time as you need.
We gotta start wrapping up because I know we've been here for almost an hour now.
Okay.
Actually, hour and a half. I don't know. I don't want to take a lot of time. Yeah. But I'm enjoying this because, like I said, a lot of your things, what you're saying, that I need to work on myself, you know, and that's one of the reasons that I'm doing this, even for myself. Like I have to learn to be a better coach, you know. In order for
Mhm.
for the players to be better, I gotta be better, you know.
I'll put it to you this way: what part of your Mexico is your family from?
What part of Mexico?
Hmm.
There's different parts. So there's it's Guanajuato and Durango, but I was born like by Texas in the border.
Okay, all right. So your
Mhm.
family, my wife's family is from Laredo. They're from
From where?
Laredo, Texas.
Oh, Laredo.
Laredo. Yeah, they're from Laredo, Texas. We
Okay.
just came down there. Her grandmother just passed,
Oh,
and
okay.
one thing I like to do is I like to look up cultural history on families. I like to do that. I like to see the last names and where they come from. Her last name is Castillo, and so which is a wide name, but when you trace down where her family's from, I found out where my wife's Brazilians come from. My wife's a tough cookie. She is not a weak person whatsoever. She's a very successful. She's a nurse. She's a nurse supervisor. She also, if you look on Christina's Creative Corner, she has her
Mhm.
own business. And she's the one that designed my shirts. She designed their
Okay.
shirts. So I had the ideas. She just pressed them on there and made them look good. So her business is very lucrative. She's a very strong person, individual wise. But when I learned about her father's family, where they come from a place called Oro, Mexico. I don't know if you know
Okay.
where that's at.
I
Oro,
don't know.
Mexico. It's actually close by the coast, and they are the only. Well, there are probably more tribes, but they're the one that I studied that actually got the Spanish out,
Oh,
and
wow. Okay.
they have a word for it. I can't remember the word, but there's a word that the Spanish called them for barbarian, and
Okay.
they related this tribe to the Mongolians. That's how the Spanish thought of them, because apparently in Order Mexico, the elevation and mountain regions in that area are higher than Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I just
I
found
didn't
out. I
know
just
that.
looking it up. And so they were actually a tribe that they were smart. Okay, you know how you hear a lot of Mexican tribes, they just gave them gold. You know, like we don't really know what it is, but we're giving you gold. Well,
Mhm.
their tribe was a little bit different. They weren't they weren't dumb. They're like, okay, you want this, but I'm not gonna give you everything. I'll give you some of it, but I'm not gonna give you all of it. So here,
Okay.
you can have a little bit, but I ain't giving you my best stuff. Like, and that's just intelligence on the mind. Like, no, I'm not doing that. All right. So what they did was they let him into caves that didn't have gold. But that's also, I think, in the article, I could be wrong, but I think that's an article where the Central Bank of Mexico started. The
Oh,
Central Bank
wow.
of Mexico
Okay.
started. So it's from those tribal people. So my wife's family, that's where they come from. That's their lineage. They come from that tribal people. If you meet my wife, she's kind of the same way. I ain't gonna give you everything. I'll give you
Mhm.
some of it, but I ain't gonna give you everything.
Yeah.
So, but when I say that, your people come from people that are very powerful.
Okay.
Y'all don't come from a weak lineage, man. Y'all come from people who have survived like countless atrocities of everything, and you're still here.
Right.
Take
Right.
that, take that. I call it grit. Take that same grit and put it into your team.
Okay. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
take that same grit you have and put it into them. And you'd be surprised which you how your team will flourish and grow and be just as powerful. Seek out the weakest one on your team and train him. Train him for the position that he's going to be the best for. He'll play it,
Yeah.
and he'll be happy to go back to that position every time. So, what the best advice I can give to any coach from here, and no matter what grade you're teaching, no matter which one you're teaching, give your team something to strive for. It all starts in the name. If you give them a name that is either corny or it doesn't give any power to it, you're not going to get any power from it. That's why I respect the Guardians. Guardians is a strong name. That's a
Yeah.
powerful name. But you had to match it against something like the Shogun to make a good game. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, this is gonna be a fight. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
If you get like if you think about professional teams, the Rams, the Tigers, the what else? The Ravens,
Hmm.
the Falcons. We really don't call them the Redskins. I still like them. I know that's not culturally appropriate, but it's not culturally appropriate, so you can't say that no more. But when I was growing up, and we call them the Redskins,
Yeah.
and I didn't mind that. I'm like, that's a team to be. I ain't messing around with them dudes, man. You crazy? They get on the field, they gonna murder us. Yeah, they come after you. You know what I'm saying? But we don't. And then even with girls, a coach that coaches girls,
Hmm.
there's nothing wrong with making them finesse, making sure when they get on that field, you give them a name of pride, stand by. You know, like something that comes out of like wow, man, that's what their name is. Which one? And Norse mythology. The two ones that guarded Asgard, what's their names? They're all female. What do they call? Oh my goodness. Uh Somebody's gonna kill me. Oh my goodness. I can't remember the name. They have wings. They have big wings that ride on horses. You ever watch Thor? The movie Thor?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
The girls that rode on the horses and they had the big wings, but they're all women. And
Yeah. I
they
know what
were
you're
of
talking
course,
about. I don't know.
yeah, I can't remember the name, but they were forced to be reckoned with. That's who Odin assigned to protect Asgard. Like, give them something like that. You
Oh,
know,
okay. Yeah.
when my daughter's teams, I call them the dragons. They were the dragons. You know what I'm saying? And then they came up with this weird, I don't know where they got it from, but they would do like this, like they like wingspan. They would all
Okay.
it's like, what is that? We're dragons, daddy. Like this. Is that how dragons stand? Yeah. And so, okay, well, let's go with it. So the dragons, to me, it starts in the name. To me, it may not be that for other coaches and parents, and to each its own. I'm not saying that you have to do it, but for me as a coach, it starts in the name. Give them something to work for. And then give them their chance. I have one team. This was a while back. This is when
You
I think. Go ahead.
you said to give them a test? Did I
A
hear?
name, a
Yeah,
name,
a name.
and then yeah, to strive to,
Oh, okay, okay,
something to
okay, okay.
relate to, and then give them a chance, not a test, a chance,
Oh, a
like a small.
chance.
Yeah, no, not a chance, a chant. Like my team, I say,
Oh,
ooh,
I got okay. A
yeah,
chant. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So like when we were the Beverly Hills Bears and the Texas Longhorns, we had ours.
Oh, you did.
We knew it.
Okay.
Yeah, we had our own chant. You know what I'm saying? Coach would get us riled up. I'll show you a video. He gets us riled up with that same chant every time. What are we gonna do? Us. What are we gonna do? Us. We would do that kind of stuff. I gave
Okay.
them that just a little bit. And so they said it. So even when at the end of the game, you know how you do the tunnel and you slap hands
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Instead of saying good job, we say oos, 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 oos.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, what is oos? That's their thing. I didn't even make them do that. That was them.
Oh,
That
okay.
was the boys that learned to do that. I didn't teach them that. And they
Okay.
learned that on a oos, oos, oos. And I was thinking like, that's my boys, man. I was you can't do nothing better than that. So the best advice I can give you is give them an identity to strive for.
Okay.
Give them what they need. Make sure they have the ability to do it. Give them the confidence to be winners, and then show them how to win.
Okay.
You won't even have to bark orders. And another thing too is really good, and I've learned this, and this is something I had to do is like relinquish control. Being a coach, once you taught them this, let them figure it and play on the field. You don't have to coach everything. I've seen Aiden, who is my leader. Him and Ezra are just leaders, natural leaders. They know how to get their team. Aiden and Ezra were on the field. They discussed their own play on the field. I wasn't saying anything.
Right,
I
right.
just and then I kind of just sat back and I watched them. I'm like, and then one of the parents like, well, you need. I said, no, 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 no. Let's let them do this. Let's see what they're gonna do themselves. I'm curious. They put the play together themselves, my man, and scored. I didn't tell them to do that. Aiden put it together. All I did was just teach them what they already knew. So they knew with this team, they knew how to fight them. Put your faith in them to allow them to experiment. It's
Right.
fun to watch them. It's fun to watch them put an entire project together. Like, whoa, and then he said, "You taught me. I just did it." Oh, you squeeze them as hard as you can. I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud of you. So, best thing I can tell you is, man, as a coach, you want to make sure that you give them the tools they need to win, and they will not let you down.
Right.
They won't.
Yeah,
That's
no,
it.
man, it makes completely sense. Sorry to interrupt again, but yeah,
It's
I
okay.
agree with you. That sense of pride. Everywhere you go, it's I don't know if you've seen the Real Madrid game versus Bayern Munich.
Yes.
Last minute, they were still winning. I mean, they were losing, and then they came back and
Mm-hmm.
they won that game because of that
Mm-hmm.
pride of playing for that team, the big
Mm-hmm.
team that not everybody gets to
Mm-hmm.
play. That pride.
Yep. I pray that I do get the same team back next season in the fall. I pray I do. If I don't, it's okay because I'm not changing my name on my team. I'm not changing the routine. It's going to be called the Shoguns, and the new players are going to know the same type of environment. What's
Okay.
going to hurt me is when I got to play my old team, my old students. I think that's what's going to hurt me the most because
Okay.
I'm not going to want to go against my boys, and if they score, I'm gonna be happy, not sad. I'm gonna be happy that, and if they use something that they got from my team, it's like, oh my god, I taught him that. They're like, oh, goodness. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you ever I'll say this, and then then we can start wrapping up. But you
Yeah,
ever you ever watch Muhammad Ali box?
a little bit.
Okay, there's a match. His coach and trainer was Angelo Dundee. Angelo was with him in Sonny Liston. He was with him with Joe Frazier. He was with him with Ken Norton. He was with him the entire time. This one match is the first time Angelo Dundee did not have Muhammad Ali as his fighter. He was fighting against Ali with Terry Ellis, and they had to fight him. Think about how Muhammad Ali felt, put up against his mentor, the guy who taught him how to box. You see how that feels?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
They're going to feel that too. You're like, oh God, I taught him that. And all of that just comes down. I mean, he was with them doing George Foreman. They practiced how they're going to be George Foreman.
yeah,
And now I got to go up against them. It's like, oh God, my heart hurts. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And sometimes as a coach, that's going to happen.
yeah,
You're going to have to do that. And just remember, if that's going to be the case, you celebrate their victory too. If they
yeah,
beat you, celebrate the fact that you were a part of his victory because you taught him something or her
yeah.
something. But like going back to coaching girls, I haven't done it yet. Now, well, I've done co-ed, but I've never done a full girl team.
Okay.
Any man, if you get somebody on there that does that, I would love to hear from them because one day I might have to. I don't know
Okay.
how I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be like this is a whole nother ball game. So, but it's part of growing and challenging yourself.
Right, completely. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I agree with you what you're just saying again. That even if they're like they're not with your team no more, still celebrate them. Because I don't know if you Cristiano Ronaldo and Alex Ferguson, even after
Mm,
he left, far after he left, they were still checking on Alex Ferguson, still check up on him when they would face each other. He was like a parent, like a dad, a father figure
yeah,
for Cristiano Ronaldo.
yeah, you're right. You're right. And that's going to be important because if you're in even if you're in community soccer, like my community soccer,
Hmm.
um, they're going to remember how you presided over a team.
Oh,
If
for
that
sure.
parent was in a team, they're going to remember, oh yeah, I know him. And especially if you're a good coach, and
Yeah.
it's an honor when they request you, like I want Taran, or I want this, I want that team.
Yep.
Wow, okay, really? Yeah. And then it's a badge of honor you win. You're
Hmm.
excited, like, yeah, man, I'd love for you guys to be my team again. Y'all know the drills, and just keep the same. And keep your drills the same. Keep your drills the same, even when it comes to training. They know the routine. As soon as they get on the field, they know the routine. And you'd be
Okay.
surprised what they do. And then every once in a while, add in little differences. We did one called capture the penny. You put the penny in their back,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and this one,
Okay.
you know that one. This one teaches them how to look up and keep them, keep the ball in front
Yeah.
and keep them that. Yeah, so we did that one. They love that one. I did one too. Coach Portis would do this to us. We'll be exercising. Say we're doing our bear crawl, and we're doing whatever our exercise we need to do. He would say scrimmage, scrimmage, and we would have to run to the field and get in our position as fast as we can to
Oh
play a
wow. Okay.
particular play. And so I did that with them. We would run to the field and we would say, we be doing our exercises or we doing our drills, and I would get a parent to blow the whistle, say scrimmage, scrimmage, and they run to the field and get ready to play.
Okay.
And now they have to get in. You have to get in your positions, and so they would learn their positions and get in their shapes.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's a fun way to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it is. So what happens if they did, let's say you had to do it like in 2 minutes, right? Or 30 seconds, you know? What happens
whoever
if
gets
they
the
did
ball,
it?
whoever gets the ball first scores.
Okay.
So you
So
gotta you gotta come out of nowhere.
okay,
Go
so
ahead.
let's say one team doesn't get there in their positions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that team not play or they get
No, no,
scored
no.
on?
They get scored on.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So it's like that's what happens. So it's like if you're not there, if you that means you got to be fast. But the cool thing is this where you see your defenders come out, because Aiden was on the blue team and the gold team was being played, right? So
Yeah.
I had them in separate positions, and they're just talking and they're not even knowing anything. So I start the drums and I say scrimmage real loud, or and I have a parent blow the whistle, and
Okay.
they run out there. So if you're too slow, you're not you in your position. You'll run you, man. I couldn't get there in time. You got to learn to get there in time because you're going to do it again. And then you stop after they score. You stop and go back to doing their exercise. You wait a couple more
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
You go wait a couple more minutes. They go back to doing their drills. Wait a couple more minutes, and then you scrimmage, scrimmage, and they run back out to that field. And when they run back out to that field, they got to give. But then that other person, you start to see the defense comes out because eight of my speedsters were already there first.
Right.
But then the defenders come out of nowhere and they take that ball from him. He's coming down about to score, and then he just comes right behind him. Wow, that ball goes flying. You're like,
Okay.
like, That's what you want to see. Like, yes, you want to see that because think about it like this. And say they kick the ball from one end to the other.
Hmm.
Now you got to chase that ball. You got too many people on one side and not enough defenders on this side. They
Right.
orchestrated to where you got your attackers and your defenders all in one area. But that other team's got some long kickers, so they kick their ball like a rainbow onto their side of the field to score. Now
Yeah.
you got to travel that extra distance to get to that goal. That's where you train them to get down there and get that ball. And so when you train them like that, that's how they remember. Scrimmage,
Okay.
scrimmage. You got to run to that ball and get it as quick as you can. And that makes the legs stronger, makes the body stronger, makes their mind stronger. They get to the end of that field. I got it. I got it. Now they got the pitch. Kick it back over to the outside.
Right.
What's that? It's mind games. It's mind games you got to play with the kids. You got to mess with them, man. And
Yeah,
then
because
when you
oh, sorry to interrupt again,
no, right.
but I think that goes back to what you mentioned earlier, the ownership. You got to take
Mm-hmm,
ownership of what you're doing.
mm-hmm,
Defend that goal with your life.
mm-hmm. Yep. And then another thing, I learned this from Denzel Washington. You ever seen that movie called God, what is it called? He was defending a little girl, and then like he got shot protecting her or something like that. And then, but she was on a swim team, but she kept losing. He said, "There's
Okay.
no such thing as it's just that you're not trained. That's all it is. You're not trained." He was like, "Okay." He said, when he would shoot that gun, she would flinch, and so her start time was very, very slow. So that gun goes off, she would flinch before she goes in. He said, "We got to get that flinching out of you." So, ow, you flinch. He said, "What you flinch? You flinch, right? Yeah, the gunshot has no fear. Say it." You say stuff like that. The gunshot has no fear. Say it. So when you yell out, "Scrimmage," they they're not supposed to flinch. As soon as that ball is released and that whistle goes, they know it's time to go. You
Okay.
get them used to it. So what I would do is I would see if they would flinch. I would blow the whistle. And if they flinch not to move, then I knew that's where I need to go. Okay, we got to get y'all this flinching out of y'all. Y'all got to, as soon as y'all hear that whistle, y'all need to go. So I would use that whistle as a trigger. So when they hear, you started too slow, try it again. And a lot of coaches say the start and stop is bad. Like I see a lot of videos that say that starting and stopping is bad for you. No, it's not. Not if you're reinforcing a certain perimeter for them to learn. If you're teaching them to move on a dime and to do split second thinking, that is training for their mind. It gets inside their head to where they got to move. And once you get that, you ever seen it in motion? When the referee blows that, he blows it to move. Oh my God, they're like savages. Like as soon as, and I'm sure they're like they're in their square ready to go. And as soon as he blows that whistle to release them, oh my God, it's like horses coming out of the stable. They going down that field with that ball. Like, so, I never agree with that. I never agree with that. I saw a video of that a coach saying doing the starting and stopping is bad. No, it's not. Not. It's only stop. It's only bad when you are in the middle of a play and they're trying to finish that play. That's when it's bad.
Okay.
But at the end of the play, blow your whistle, say, let's do it again. Let's do it again. We're going to do it again until we get it right. And you guys know this play. All right. This is a 2v. This is a 2v4. So there's 2 men versus 4 people. You know the play to pass it back and forth to get it to the goal. Let's practice again. Let's do it until we get it right. It takes them a minute, but they figure it out and they practice it at home. And now it's in their head all night. They're thinking about it while they sleep. They got their ball with them. They remember what I did. I'm gonna try this tomorrow. Then maybe I need to move this way. You know, it's like that when you have left-handed players or left leg players. Everett, my son Everett, is a left leg player. He's
Okay.
left-handed, so everything he kicks with is his left. So you ever see how awkward it can be when they're trying to set up for their kick?
Yeah.
I taught him how to kick with both legs. And the one thing I say is don't think, shoot. Short verses like that. Don't think, shoot. You know what I'm saying? That
Okay.
gets in their head. Telling them, like I said, I still don't know where it came from. We are hunting lions, not chasing them. I don't know where that came from. But, like they got it like, okay, we playing too much. Yeah, you playing too much. Let's get in there and get this done. Have fun playing with your teammates. That's another thing. Have fun playing with your teammates. These are trails. This is how I give speeches. Have fun playing with your teammates. Don't think, shoot. We like I go back and say we are hunting lions, not chasing them. You see the way of
Yeah. Yeah.
the flow. That's because I'm teaching them on the basis of a speaker. This is how you remember things. It's how one of the greatest we ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. You see what I'm saying? It's a
Mm-hmm.
flow method of the way you speak. This is how I do it as a coach. I give them things to remember. And then they
Okay.
come back to you like, don't think, shoot, don't think, shoot. So when they get in that position, you ever see a player run out into the field, they freeze, and they're all coming in him like a horde of hornets about to sting him, and then he's trying to think, he gets scared. That's
Mm-hmm.
where the whistle comes in. That's where he's got to get over that fear of just take the shot. Shoot, you know where to go, shoot it. And you'd be surprised. That's Carl. Carl was like that. Carl would freeze up. But then once we got him to stop freezing, he took that shot every time. He'd take your head off with that ball too. So he kicked that ball to that come hard, it go flying into that net. But once we got him to that point, don't think, shoot. He figured it out.
Right.
So another thing I teach him, give them short things to remember.
Okay.
Plays make them easy to comprehend. Don't make them complicated. All right, it's U8. You're only U in 4v4, so it's not that big of a deal. 8 versus 8 is an entirely different situation. And that's with my daughter Asher. That's another story. So I'm just telling you this one because this is the one that's recent. And so one I can tell you is that give them the ability to become what they already are.
Okay.
They just don't know it yet. And
Yeah,
once you
yeah.
show them what they are, they wear it with pride, man. They wear their badges. They wear it on their shirt, and you give them what, and they wear it on the field. Did you pull up my website on my page?
I did, but I can't see it because I'm gonna send you a friend request, but I'll do it after
Okay. Okay.
because I can't see a lot of it. I'll show you.
I think you have to request me as a friend, and I can accept you, and then you'll be able to see it.
Okay, yeah, because I send you a friend request right now.
And also, oh yeah, there it goes. All right, come here. There
So
you go.
your camera's off for a little bit.
There you go. You got it.
Yes.
All right.
So
I gotta get you back.
like I said before, I gotta start wrapping this down because we've been here for almost 2 hours now, and I know
I'm sorry.
you probably have something else to do. But as you reflect on your coaching journey, what
Mhm.
legacy do you hope to leave behind for your players and your community as well?
The biggest thing that I want to leave behind them is to give them a sense of pride to know that they played with one of the best teams out there, and they know who the memories that they have from this. It's
Mhm.
going to be something that they carry on to their children and their children's children, and then they are able to talk to their kids. And like I remember a coach I had, like I talk about Coach Portis. I remember
Mhm.
a coach I had. I remember how good he was.
Okay.
That's my legacy. Is to be remembered as something that inspired them to be the greatest thing that they can be. That's all I want. Nothing
Gotcha.
more.
Right. Right. Yeah. Like I said before, we have that big impact that sometimes we forget how big of an impact we have on this kid's
Right.
life outside of just soccer.
hmm And that's what I can tell any coach. Whether you either, and let's just say you don't have the best team, and sometimes you're going to get that. You're not going to get the greatest players, but if you give them the courage to be the best, and you work with them, and you dedicate yourself to the team, and I know it's free. Like you're giving your time. You're not getting paid for this. You're getting some of them get paid, some of them don't. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? But when you're giving your time to teach them, and uh, if you give them that ability, you can move forward into that, and then you'd be surprised. And then they move towards that type of situation.
Yep.
That's how I feel.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
where can listeners learn more about you?
Me as a person.
Yeah, or as a coach,
Uh,
as in your coaching.
the best thing that you can learn from me is to make your team cohesive.
No, where can they
Make it,
learn more about you?
oh, you can learn more about me on my website through Shogun Soccer. I always post things. I'm always going to post videos and talking about the coaching session. I just started this entire webpage maybe by the beginning of this season. I didn't know it was going to go this far. And so I'm just going to actually run with it. But this is
Okay.
going to be a Shogun, sorry, and then request me as a friend
Mhm.
on Shogun Soccer. And that's my emblem right there. If you see the emblem in the middle, that's the one I use. And I always have my first team in the back. And
Okay.
then there's my flag. And that's the one we'll use a different flag next season. And then each season I'll have a different flag. But I'll always put up things that I've learned. And I'll always put when we're going to play, and my wife likes to make videos and things like that. So we'll put our information on there. You can contact me at any time. Yeah, just like you did through Facebook. Contact me through Facebook, and I
Yep.
will be glad to answer any questions you have on things that I've learned.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So last question is like a silly one. All right. So
Mhm.
if you could pick a celebrity to play on your team, I know it's little kids, but who would you pick? Or even a soccer player, famous soccer player, who would you pick?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. If I let's see, if it's a celebrity,
Hmm.
it would probably be Benny the Jet Rodriguez from the Sandlot.
Oh wow. Okay. Because he's fast.
Yeah, because he's fast and he was an accurate hitter, but he also was a leader. You
He
see how he
was.
taught
Yeah,
his.
that's true. Yep.
You see how he taught. what's name height. He said, just put your hand up in the air and I'll hit it towards you. That's simple. And he said, like, if you were having fun, you would have caught that ball.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The soccer player, well, I'll say this for Ezra. Ezra loves a guy called Messi.
Okay.
He loves Messi. So I went, who? And I never heard of him. Who is Messi? And so I watched him like, oh yeah, he's actually pretty good. Wow, man, he's really good. So like Ezra, if Ezra was here, my baby boy, he would say,
Yeah.
hey, Daddy, Messi on the team. And one other thing for coaches too.
Hmm.
One last thing. I'm gonna give you a short, brief story about this. We had a guy, he was an Indian kid, that we were playing football. And we were outside playing football at our house in the street. They got into some trouble. The cops were coming after him. He was an Indian kid. The cops were coming after him.
Okay.
And just the funny, because the cops pulled up and he went, you're going to jail. And to one of the other guys that was involved in this situation, he went, oh man. We all started laughing. But then he came up out of nowhere. He was in our neighborhood. He lived with us. He went to school with us at Beverly Hills. He took off so fast, running from the cops. And I know this is a bad situation, but I have to say this. He took off running so fast. All of us on our football team, our mouths just went. We dropped, our mouths dropped. The boy was so fast, the police had to get a neighbor with a truck to catch him down the street.
Oh, wow.
We went. We went back to school the next day. We went
Yeah.
to Coach Porter. We said, Coach, you got to put him on the team today. No, today. You need to get him on the team right now, like now. And Coach Porter was like, what are y'all talking about? Look, man, I forgot his name. He was like, look, man, we saw him. He said, what, is he in trouble? Yeah, he's in trouble. Where's he at? He's probably at the police station now, but I know his dad's going to have his head. So he said, okay. Coach Porter went down and got him out. Had a talk with the parents. He said, if he was on the football team, he wouldn't be in trouble. And they went, oh, well, how is that possible? He said, because I'll be working him so much, he ain't going to have time to get in trouble. And by the time he get out, he's going to be too tired to get involved in anything. He said, and so the next day, they signed him up for athletics. In the middle of the season, we signed him up for athletics. He played all the way to high school. He was actually the top running back at Dobie High School and at Beverly Hills.
Wow.
So as a coach, I can tell you this. Make sure you look at your talent. You never know what you might have. And you'd be surprised what you get and what you can turn into. You might be a person like he doing what he did, put him in serious trouble. Coach Porter's got him out of it.
Yeah.
And turned him into something that now, I don't know what he does now, but I'm pretty sure it's something either in sports or something in computers. I can tell you that. He was smart.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he lived, but he probably was going to remember that. Like, man, Coach Porter got me out and play football. I've seen it too many times. I've seen it at my daughter's school, at my son's school. This little Indian girl, she wanted to play football with us. We were outside playing touch football. And I was throwing a ball. She cut across the middle. Through all them boys, cut across the middle and caught the ball in midair.
Right.
I went, I'm sorry, bro. I'm like, that ain't the first time I've seen something like that. I grew up with a boy like that. So I'm like, I want that one on my team. So it's like, just the last thing I can tell you is, man, keep your options open. If you do have to change up, just make sure your routine and your values, and whatever you name your team, keep it the same.
Okay.
Stay consistent. And they will fall into that. They will know the routine when they come in. I know this routine. What are we doing first? Why are you asking me? You know what you're supposed to be doing when you hit the field? Okay. And they do their work. And then you give your lesson and you let them win.
Simple.
Is that simple? Yes, it is. And if you look at every other coach on the soccer team, I'm pretty sure it's the same way. Even Major League Soccer teams, they're the same way. They get out on the field, they know what they got to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
go
that's
run
true.
the coach. Come on, what are you looking at me for? You know what to do. Get out there. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then, and no matter what age they are, they will grow to be, they're going to remember you. They're going to grow up to be strong and powerful. If you want to give them a persona, you see the back of my my thing, right? I like Mega Man.
Mhm.
I like Mega. I pull things from my childhood.
Okay.
I pull things. I pull things that I grew up with. Transformers. What the game that we won? I put up. I should be in there. I don't know if I did it. I don't know if you ever seen Transformers the movie. You ever seen it?
Yeah, yeah.
The cartoon?
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you got to see that one's better than the movie. So, and there's a part in there where Perceptor runs up. He said, "Ultra Magnus, the accursed valuation of the Decepticon capability indicates a short tactical deficiency." And then they're like, in other words, Perceptor and then Springer, which is Aiden Springer, we're outnumbered. We were outnumbered 4 to 8 people, and we still won. That's what I put. I played for them. I said, we're outnumbered. Like, this is cold blooded, man. I was like, oh, and then they were like, wow, they had never seen that before. They never seen Transformers like that before. They were like, wow. Like, that's what you guys were this time. Y'all were the Autobots. Y'all were outnumbered. Y'all still beat the Decepticons. Like, they shaking their head like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? When are you gonna coach next?
What am I gonna coach?
Yeah.
I'm still coaching. My season's over right now. We're just doing practices right now.
All right then. If you ever need anything, man, I wish sending stuff on there. Hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I know you live in Kansas City.
Yes.
Oh man, I wish you lived down here close to us, man. We would play with each other. We have fun. We have a good time. So,
Yeah.
but get your the stuff that I bought is on Amazon.
Okay.
The patches I bought are on Amazon. The flag I bought is on Amazon. Right?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I just bought all the stuff on Amazon. And so, build their persona first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Give them a song. Give them a song that they can relate to. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be sitting there like, yep, this is me. What I wanted to do the last game, but I didn't get a chance to do it. I bought them Ronin masks, samurai masks to
Okay.
wear. But they didn't come in time. God, I made me
Oh.
mad. And I was going to have them put their war paint on.
Oh
They're gonna have their red
wow.
and have their mask on. So when they run out to the team to do our freaking salute,
Yeah.
they were going to go, and it's gonna be like a shogun mask, like the ones that they wear when they go out, the freaking crazy mask that they wear, the samurai wear. That's
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
were gonna wear. And
Wow.
I just got them today. They took forever to get here, so like I guess I'll hold it for next season.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Let us know. Keep us updated how that all plays out for you.
I will. I will. Bring your childhood to them. How old is the team that you're teaching?
Right now they're 13, 14 years old.
You might have to go up a little bit more than what I do, but bring your the soul to bring your soul to them. Give them your
Okay.
soul.
Yeah,
Don't be
definitely.
afraid to do that. Give it to them, and watch how they run with it. You'll be so proud of them. I promise. You won't
Yeah.
regret it. All right.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Oh
I think that's it, because like I said, we've been here for hours,
yeah,
2 hours already.
yeah.
So this is great, but we gotta, go home, do some stuff. But
All right, man. I appreciate it.
it was great having you here. Thank you, Coach
All
Navy.
right. All right. No problem. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it and my ability to talk and tell my story. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'll
Yeah,
see
no
you guys
problem.
next.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Thank you guys. Thank you for being here on this podcast from the
All
field.
right. Then. Bye, everybody.